Welcome to Global Formula Apex latest news. Coming into the 2026 season, almost no one was surprised to see George Russell as the early favorite for the title, even during testing. Despite the usual sandbagging, it was clear that Mercedes had built the fastest car on the grid. So when we arrived in Australia, everything went exactly as expected. Russell took pole position and converted it into a comfortable victory, while his young teammate, Kimi Antonelli, was left fighting his way back through the field after a difficult start. But just 3 races later, the narrative has completely flipped. Now, it's the 19-year-old Antonelli who leads the Drivers' Championship after back-to-back wins in China and Japan. And suddenly, people are starting to ask a serious question. Is Kimi Antonelli now the favorite for the 2026 title? And if he is, what does that mean for George Russell? In qualifying, the battle between the two has been incredibly tight. Across races and sprints, they're tied at 2-2, the average gap between them, just 0.016 seconds in Russell's favor. That's basically nothing. Yes, Russell technically has the edge over 1 lap, but in reality, there's almost nothing separating them. However, momentum tells a different story. Antonelli has taken back-to-back pole positions, including a stunning performance in Japan, where he outqualified Russell by nearly 3/10, his biggest margin yet. That wasn't just fast. That was a statement. Now let's talk about race pace. So far this season, every race has been won from pole position. That sounds simple, maybe even boring. But the reality is anything but. Mercedes has actually lost positions at the start in every race. What's been happening is that the faster driver eventually fights their way back to where the car truly belongs. And that's where things get interesting, because it puts huge emphasis on racecraft, energy management, and decision-making under pressure. According to analysis, Antonelli had a slight edge in Australia, gaining around 1/10 per lap over a long stint. In China, there was virtually no difference at all once Russell cleared traffic. Japan, hard to compare directly, but visually, Antonelli looked stronger all weekend. And here's the biggest surprise so far, Antonelli's racecraft. For a 19-year-old in just his second season, his ability to overtake, position the car, and control races has been seriously impressive. While Russell has had moments of bad luck, like a battery issue in China, or an unlucky safety car in Japan, there have also been situations where Antonelli simply looked more decisive, more clinical, more confident. Of course, it's still early days. 3 races is a very small sample size, but the fact that Antonelli is already matching, if not outperforming, Russell is huge. Especially when you consider that Russell came into this season as the clear team leader. And that's where things start to get complicated, internally at Mercedes. Because this isn't just about performance. This is about pressure. All the expectations at the start of the season were on Russell. He was the one expected to deliver the title. Antonelli, he had nothing to lose. But now that's changing. As the season progresses, and the possibility of a championship becomes real, that's when the true test begins, especially for a young driver. Can Antonelli handle that pressure? For Russell though, the situation is even more intense, because Antonelli isn't just competing with him, he's becoming a real problem, fast. You can already sense the frustration, especially in moments like Japan, where things didn't go Russell's way and Antonelli capitalized again. And deep down, there has to be a psychological element to this. Russell spent years building his career, first in a struggling Williams, then in a Mercedes that wasn't capable of fighting for titles. Now, just as he finally gets his opportunity, a 19-year-old teammate arrives, and might take it away. And then there's the team dynamic. Mercedes will say they're neutral. No team orders. Equal treatment. But there's definitely a different energy when Antonelli wins. For team boss Toto Wolff, Antonelli's success feels personal. He backed him early, promoted him quickly, and now he's being proven right. That matters. And Russell knows it. Looking ahead, the next phase of the season will be crucial. Tracks like Miami and Canada should suit Antonelli based on past performances. But then comes Europe, a part of the calendar where he struggled last year. That will be the real test. If Antonelli stays strong there, then this title fight becomes very real. Because make no mistake, if George Russell loses this championship to his teenage teammate, the consequences could be massive. For his position in the team, for his future at Mercedes, and for his place in Formula One. Thanks for watching.